Hello, good morning. My name is Mercy Alexander, and I welcome you to another edition of your program, The Gallery. And my guest today is an activist, Mr. Omoyele Sowore. Sit, it's going to be interesting. You know, when it comes to Sowore, the country, the people want to hear what he has to say again. So please, stay tuned to your TV set. I'll be right back.
Omoyele Sowore is a Nigerian human rights activist, pro-democracy campaigner, and founder of an online news agency called Sowore Reporters. Sowore is a 2023 Nigerian presidential candidate for the African Action Congress Party, and he previously ran in the 2019 election. He is famous for leading several protests against bad governance from his day as a student. Omoyele Sowore was born on the 16th of February 1971 in Niger Delta, Nigeria, into a polygamous home of 16 children. He is originally from Ese Odo, Ondo State, Nigeria. At 12, he learned to ride a motorcycle so that he could go to the lake to go fishing for food for his entire family every morning before going to school. Sowore's passion and desire for media were propelled during the military rule in Nigeria. At a young age, Omoyele Sowore began his formal education, first in a basic elementary school and subsequently in community high school in Kiribo, Ondo State, and later Ofedipe Comprehensive High School, Okitipupa, Ondo State, for his WAEC. Sowore went on to study geography and planning at University of Lagos, UNILAG, where he graduated with a bachelor's degree somewhere between 1989 and 1995. As an undergraduate, he began his political and activist career and was expelled twice before he graduated from the institution. Sowore holds a master's degree in public administration from Columbia University. His passion to impact lives positively made him take on a job as a lecturer of modern African history at the City University of New York, as well as post-colonial Africa history at the School of Art, New York. Sowore Reporters is a media company founded by Omoyele Sowore. He started Sowore Reporter in 2006 in a small room in Manhattan. He began the news website so he could run a platform where he could fight against corrupt government practices in Nigeria. Sowore Reporters is supported through financial grants by the Ford Foundation and Omidyar Foundation. As one of the standing policies, Sowore Reporters does not accept advert proposals and financial support from Nigerian government. On the 25th of February 2018, Sowore announced his intention to run for president in the 2019 Nigerian general election. In August 2018, he founded a political party called the African Action Congress (AAC), on which platform he will run for the presidency in 2019. On the 6th of October 2018, Sowore emerged as the presidential candidate for the party but later went on to lose the election. He has also emerged as the presidential candidate for African Action Congress (AAC) in the 2023 presidential election. Sowore is married with children. He and his family have been residing in Howard, New Jersey. Omoyele Sowore has an estimated net worth of $10 million, according to the value of Sowore Reporters as estimated by indicators. Sowore Reporter estimated earnings per day on average is $3,000.
Here you are again, vouching for the position of the president of the country. What is giving you that strength to keep pushing?
The country has gotten worse. The issues that I'm passionate about, that I've discussed, and I really want the solutions I want to bring to the country, have not had a chance to find its bearing. So until that is done, I will not give up.
Now, you were once the president of a student union.
Yes.
And during your time, you did a lot to bring something to justice. How do you feel that for the over almost a year, students have been on strike?
It's not only pathetic. I just cannot even fathom how best to describe it, or how terrible I feel that in 2022, 1992, when the rest of the world has moved on in different areas of progress in the educational sector. And most importantly, at the time that the world came to a standstill as a result of a pandemic, that the Nigerian government will add another crisis into the educational sector by keeping students out of their classroom for now 7 months. It is unconscionable. It's, to me, almost a crime against humanity, to have done this. And the fact that they're not even remorseful about it and they don't really want to do anything about it. You hear government ministers asking students to go and kneel down and their parents to kneel down to beg lecturers to come back, as if governance is a joke in Nigeria. And this is part of the reason why Nigerians should, at this point, look at people who understand what it means to educate the populace and how to take education serious, and not think that Nigerians don't deserve quality education. Because it's just beyond the strike. At the bottom of this is a need to have well-funded quality education for our country, Nigeria.
Now, sir, from one of your recent posts on Instagram,
Yes.
you said it is time to take back. Can you please tell us what you mean by that?
I think you look at Nigeria from independence, or even before independence, we always belong to somewhere. This country was created or established as a business by the British. Never belonged to us, we were their subjects. When they left in 1960, they handed us over to new feudal lords, political in nature. So you look at the complete history of Nigeria in the last 62 years, there's never a time the Nigerian people themselves have had the real stake
And the
or
government.
equity in the system. And we're saying we've reached that time that the people must control their destiny and fate, and not just be subject of both events and powerful forces who have no respect for their dignity and their existence.
Over the years, what is that thing that have given you, that have helped you to build your political ideology?
I would say people. I was lucky when I was in university. I met some pretty clear-headed individuals, very courageous fighters for democracy. Because I started mostly as student activist and a pro-democracy activist. And those people I met, the likes of Chief Gani Fawemi, Femi Falana, who's been my lawyer since 1992.
Wow.
Pro bono, never received a dime from me. The likes of Bamidele Aturu, Olusegun Mayegun, Chima Obani, Innocent Chukwuma, several persons that were both colleagues and mentors. And, that is also shaped by events around the world and our heroes who fought for civil rights in the U.S. I'm a big fan of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King, Nelson Mandela, and all those great freedom fighters on the continent and beyond, who they shaped my view about life and activism. But beyond that, experience of poverty, inequality, just general neglect, where I come from, which is Niger Delta area of Nigeria, also helped to shape my
Your
work
personality.
and my personality as well.
What do you consider major issue troubling the country? And if you are given a position, what will you recommend to solve these problems?
Leadership is our biggest problem. And this position hasn't changed since I've been aware of what leadership should be. Every other thing that people throw at you, is restructuring constitution, institutions, as a result of failure of leadership, because it is leaders, great leaders that restructure countries. It's great leaders that make great constitutions. It's great leaders that, make institutions work. And the moment you are in short supply of this kind of leaders, you are bound to fail the way we have failed terribly from the beginning of time. as a country. I don't refer to Nigeria as a nation because nationhood is far bigger than countryhood, as I like to call it. Nationhood involves a different level of cohesion, progress, and development that shows that there's a space, there's a safe space for citizens of the country.
Now, sir, with recent thing happening in the country,
Yes.
most especially in our economy,
Yes.
what do you think Nigeria should do about it? Because right now, what's it called? Dollar, the naira value in the country is not into dollars right now.
Yes.
So what do you have to say about that?
You see, these are macroeconomic failures, and they're very simple. And I'll go to the not too simple part of it. But the immediate problem is the credibility of those macroeconomic managers. A central bank governor, for instance, who abandons his work to go and be running for presidency, is not someone I would keep close to a macroeconomic policy or institution like the central bank. The multiple exchange rates of the central bank, which allow them to engage in corruption and round tripping, it's not something that helps your currency, where you have people who are supposed to protect your currency who are actively sabotaging it because they are trading in currency, forex. You would fail. The more important issue is for us to be able to produce, to industrialize. And before you can do that, you have to have energy, power, what people like to refer to as NEPA, which is simple thing. Without that, you cannot industrialize. And every nation that has made that transition from poverty to some substance or prosperity have had some sort of industrial revolution, either in manufacturing or in the service sector, and today technology. And of course, in the middle of all that, it's also that you can't be paying people slave wages and expect them to be productive. Anybody that's paying 30,000 naira to a worker for a month is committing, I don't know, the most serious debasement of any human being. Because any salary or pay that can take you home is not what to be called a wage, any form of pay. So all these things have to be addressed holistically. It includes also building infrastructure before you can get to that economic space or level where we can address inflation, address poverty, and be saying that we're doing well economically.
Now, the United Kingdom just lost their queen. And
I'm glad you said their queen.
Yeah, because I'm in Nigeria.
Yes.
Yeah. So.
Well, she used to be our queen.
Okay.
We used to be their subject. But go ahead.
Okay. And in your tweet, you said something that Nigerians should not mourn Queen Elizabeth.
Yes.
Why do you say that?
Because she has not done anything for us as to get to a point where we are crying over her. We are not bereaved, because she died. We are bereaved because she existed.
Now, right now in the country, you agree that during NSAS, it was possible because the youth stood up. And if you would advise, what do you think you ask the youth to do at this point in time?
But what I tell you to do is, look, it's your future. Nobody needs to tell you that. If you're going to be around here for a longer period than the old people, you better make it a better place. This first set of people that turned down British colonial control, confronted them are young people, Nigeria here. They were in their 20s. About Macaulays of this world, the Awolowos of this world, Zeke, it was in their 20s that the first person to move a motion for Nigeria to get independence was in his 20s. And that was Chief Antonio Nahoro, from today's Edo State. But what has happened is that the moment they saw the vibrancy of youth, they started killing one area that makes them vibrant: education. Education is a very powerful tool in the hands of youth to liberate themselves. And you notice that Nigerian states or the elites have been targeting education in such a way that, as of today, 200 million people in Nigeria, only 1.7 million graduate people who are in higher institutions. What is percentage of our population is that? How do you want to drive your country in this era of tech progress, and you are spending less and less money on education, less classrooms, less infrastructure for education? So the youth should take it as though people are waging war against them and they need liberation and they should fight it. We should have young people be as angry as they were when the British was around. Because the worst part of where Nigeria is today is that we are suffering a second recolonization. But this time around, we are being colonized by our own people.
Okay.
And they're meaner than the colonial. Some of them are worse than the British colonialists when they came here. But I don't want to say that the whites were nice, no. But it's just to let you know that the problems have not gone away. The resistance should stay with us.
What do you consider your biggest lesson from 2019 election? What were your regrets?
No regrets, and I mean it. I'm not kidding. I have no regrets. You know, between 2019, I had done more work in those 3 years than I felt like I did 20 years before then when I traveled abroad and lived in America. Relative comfort. You know, those last 3 years since 2019, I came around for president. The election was over. We started working for Revolution Now. After Revolution, I was arrested. I was thrown into prison. I was restricted to Abuja. I was attacked. Many things happened to me, but the level of social consciousness and social political consciousness also rose. You know, any era, anybody who existed in the NSAS era cannot regret and should not regret anything, that except if you didn't participate or you worked against it. But that period of social upheaval is going to be around with us for a long time. I'm happy that I was one of the catalysts for it. We started with Revolution Now protests, and then I think a lot of people picked courage and interest from Revolution Now. I realized that maybe we can do something bigger.
This time around?
Yes.
Okay, you said under your watch that Nigerians are going to experience Commonwealth.
Yes.
They will be able to travel to so many countries without stress.
Yes.
Now, how do you plan to do that?
Well, you know, the Commonwealth is an organization that was formed by countries that were colonized initially by the Brits, Britain. Some countries that were not colonized also, I think, joined. And it used to be that all Commonwealth countries could travel without visa. And I want to return to that. I want us to return to that, or we pull out of the Commonwealth. We should not be the commoners in the Commonwealth. It's just another level of debasing inequality. So it's just one of it. Because if we pull out of the Commonwealth, we're also going to pull out of the Commonwealth Games. I don't think we should be the entertainer for the Queen and his siblings and children and family members at these sporting events. Whereas we are not, to even get a visa to go to the Commonwealth Games, it's a problem for our athletes. So this international debasement of Nigeria, the almighty giant of Africa, must be stopped. And it doesn't apply to the Commonwealth alone. I went to South Africa in 2019, and I was doing an interview. And when the interview was going on, I said, look, this idea of South Africa treating Nigeria like a piece of trash will stop if our president of Nigeria. They stopped the show immediately. Because they've never heard it before that someone from Nigeria could come and talk sense into
them in South Africa.
And I thought, and what had happened was that I'd gone to cover an immigration event, and I saw how they were flogging Nigerians on the street of Pretoria. I was so upset. I still have the video today. I went to cover it. And I said, Nigerians fought for South Africans to get out of apartheid. We brought their students to Nigeria to go to school. We housed some of their rebels. We financed the rebellion against apartheid. How dare you treat Nigerians like this? Children of the giant of Africa. You know, and one guy, South African, when he saw the document, called me and said, you know, the day Nigeria gets it right, the rest of Africa will find their bearing. So keep pushing, brother. So it's not the Commonwealth alone, it's a lot of countries. It is complete discrimination. It is absolute racism to say that Nigerians should have to queue up and get visa. You know, some people have even said that, oh, if they give us visa, you won't come back. Do you think everybody in Nigeria wants to leave? You know? In fact, if you give us visa, if we get free visa, most likely a lot of people will just be traveling and coming back. And it will be in your own interest because we will contribute to your GDP, we will buy your things, we will invest, you know, in your tourism industry. There are people, they did a study in the American embassy that I was told, it wasn't made public, that the moment they started giving people 2 years visa, more people returned. More people go to America and come back. And when they relax their visa policy, if you are traveling and come back, next time you should drop off your passport. More people returned because for them it's a matter of dignity. When they used to do 5 days, when the visa elapses, they don't come back again. You know, but the moment they could go and come back, more people return back to Nigeria after they get 2-year visa. So it's just a function of addressing inequality, international inequality, racism, and the debasement of the black man. And this is the biggest home of every black person in the world. And we are determined to let it restore its glory.
Now let's talk about security right now, with the insecurity in this country. And for a lot of people, in one of your interviews, you have said it several that you are disappointed in this present government. Yes. If you are given the opportunity, what will you do concerning insecurity?
I'll do 3 things. And the first will be to halt the bleeding. Go after the bad guys, even if it means bringing in mercenaries. I've said it and I'll repeat it again. And it's not a proud thing to say, you know, but when you are down, you know, you humble yourself by getting help that can lift you up back onto your feet. Because imagine that Nigeria was one that stopped 2 wars in Sierra Leone and Liberia. We can't even fight our ragtag soldiers who call themselves Boko Haram and bandits. Stop it. Then the second thing is to strengthen our own security agencies. Make sure that the various security agencies are doing their work. One of our biggest problems today is that we don't have a commander-in-chief of the armed forces that knows what he's doing. He's the weakest of all of them. And when you have such a weak leader, people don't, you know, the security forces are in command and control hierarchy. The moment the top is not strong, people don't respect the chain of command. So, one, I'll be a strong and tough commander-in-chief of the armed forces. I'll make sure you're doing your work. But we also have to invest in the security agencies. We have to buy weapons, train them, compensate them. Anybody who is paying a person in possession of AK-47 50,000 naira has just hired an armed robber. Because 50,000 naira is not enough to help anybody in the security forces. So you must pay them very, very well, train them very well. Make sure that you collect and share intelligence. I would not allow the army to be doing traffic work in the city. It's less of that. You're supposed to protect the territorial integrity of the country. Put police to do police work. Stop them from protecting VIPs and carrying bags and serving food at parties to madams. End all that rubbish. You will see the results. Stop the strict collection of bribes that they call toll gates. Equip the police. An average police contingent will have 2 persons in the car, starting point. The back will be temporary detention if you arrest somebody. And I will get rid of the use of AK-47 in the cities. Those things don't even make sense. Good policemen carry pistols, sometimes conceal. It achieves the same objective. It can disable. The goal is not to come and kill anybody, it's to stop crime. And then ultimately, which is important, you have to invest in your economy, you have to invest in your people.
We're getting close to 2023 election.
We're there almost.
Yeah. What do you think Nigerians should be expecting in 2023?
You see, I have come to a very simple but non-simplistic conclusion about Nigeria. There are those who are in control of Nigeria. They have perfected the art of just creating disinterest in politics. When you say no election, what do you think people will do? They will not prepare for election. So what they do is to reduce the space and the expectations. So they keep bringing down the expectations of Nigerians. But whether you like it or not, if it's one state, they will hold the election. And they will declare a president from it. Then you will now start saying, but we said there won't be election now, but you have a president now, sworn in, that you have to deal with for
another 4 years.
So don't be under any illusion that there won't be election. Even if they tell you no election, tell them you want an election. And let everybody come out and vote for their candidate, the candidate that they want to win the election. Let's see if the few of them who are controlling the country can stop the majority of us who want to go in another direction. But don't fall for the fact that Nigeria will break up and all that. They've been predicting that Nigeria will break up.
And we'll still together.
I've been hearing since I was a child.
What do you think you're going to do different if you are given that opportunity to rule Nigeria?
Well,
in one sentence.
Nobody should rule Nigeria. You should lead Nigeria. And it's not given. I want to be democratically elected. And I promise you that I will turn things around as quickly, not as quickly as possible, but as quickly as required. Because people need change. Things will happen to change as quickly as required. Not possible. Possible can be at your own discretion. There's no discretion in this case. People are waiting. And I promise that we'll turn around security, turn around the power sector, turn around the infrastructural decay in the country. There won't be strikes anymore, I promise, because I was a student leader and I hate strikes. There won't be police brutality, I promise, because I've suffered from police brutality. There won't be poverty and inequality because I'm a child of inequality and poverty and deprivation. All these things that happened to me growing up, I will never allow it to repeat itself. But it's not about me. It's about the Nigerian people and what they want. And I hope that you guys will do what is right, not just by me, but by yourselves.
Hello, my viewers out there. You have heard from our presidential candidate. He already told you guys what he would do if he's given the opportunity. And also, the youth, you need to sit up, come out, and stand for the right leader to lead us in the next 4 years. Wow, we just have to call it today. I am sure that you have learned one or two things from our guest today. Like I said before, when it comes to Sowore, he has something to say to the world. Anyway, I still remain your host, Mercy Alexander. Bye and have a wonderful weekend. But please, don't forget to follow us on all our social media handles. And once again, be ready to vote come 2023. And for you to have the right to vote, you need to go out there to secure your PVC. Bye.